You hear the letters GDP all the time. Politicians brag about it, news anchors warn about it. But what does GDP actually measure? And how do you put a number on an entire country? It turns out the story is fascinating. Today we explain GDP in a simple way. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. It is the total value of everything a country produces in 1 year. Cars, haircuts, smartphones, even insurance policies. If a person paid for it inside the country, it counts. It is like adding up every receipt in the whole economy. One giant national shopping bill. Economists count GDP in 3 main ways. First, by output, adding up what factories and shops make. Second, by spending, tracking what people, businesses, and the government buy. Third, by income, summing up wages and profits. In theory, all 3 should give the same number. They are 3 views of the same big pie. Think of a country like a giant Lego workshop. The workshop builds toys, sells them, and pays workers. GDP is like asking how much the workshop produced this year. A bigger pile of toys usually means more jobs and richer people. If the pile shrinks 2 quarters in a row, that is called a recession. Many decisions hinge on that one pile. GDP can be measured 2 slightly different ways. Nominal GDP uses current prices before adjusting for inflation. Real GDP strips out the price changes. Real GDP shows whether the country is truly making more stuff. Without that fix, rising prices could look like growth. Economists almost always focus on real GDP. GDP per person is even more useful for comparing countries. A huge country can have a giant GDP and still feel poor on the street. Dividing GDP by the population shows the average slice. A small country with high GDP per person often has rich citizens, but averages can hide deep inequality. Half the country might still be struggling. GDP also misses many things. It does not count housework, volunteering, or caring for relatives. It ignores pollution and damage to nature. A wasteful boom and a healthy boom can look the same. Some countries now track happiness or environment alongside GDP. They want a fuller picture of real progress. So GDP is the giant scoreboard for a country's economic activity. It is useful but far from perfect. Watch real GDP, watch per person numbers, and watch what is missing. Then you can read economic news without being fooled. One number cannot describe a whole nation. If you found this clear, subscribe for more.